Zoom, our January the 7th City Council meeting. We have no ordinances on final reading. Madam Clerk, ordinances on first reading. Mr. Attorney?
Yes, sir.
Or Madam Clerk, I do not have what I thought we were going to get an updated agenda that would show an alternate version.
And Maria sent that to Nicole here this afternoon.
No, the agenda has not been updated with that.
I'm sorry?
The agenda has not been updated with the alternate version.
Okay.
I can read it in if you.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's just do it. Councilwoman Coonrod, you good with doing it as a amendment? Okay. All right, just read, Madam Clerk, 8A, version 5.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 25, Section 2540, threat or mass violence on city-owned property or at city property-related activities.
Councilwoman Coonrod? Yeah, move to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Now we need an amendment, correct? Okay, move to amend. Mr. Attorney, would you read the amendment, please?
Yes, sir. The only amendment to version 5 is C1 will be amended to say any person who has knowledge of a threat of mass violence on city-owned property or at a city property related activity shall report the threat immediately to emergency personnel with jurisdiction in the city. And that's the only change.
And we're eliminating.
We were
Eliminating section B, A and B. It's all going to be all under one.
Okay.
Okay.
So eliminating section A and B and then amending to the language that the city attorney just read. And that is in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor for the amendment with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed, no? All right, the motion to amend carries. Now, Councilwoman Coonrod? All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve as amended with a proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Councilwoman Coonrod. Moving now, Madam Clerk, 8B.
An ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the 300 block of Ann Street as detailed on the attached maps.
Move to defer this item for 2 weeks.
Second.
Okay, let's see.
Let me see that date, sorry.
28th,
That'll be the 21st.
21st.
21st, okay. We have a motion on the floor to defer until January the 21st with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, no? So moved. 8C, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning the unopened right-of-way in the 7400 block of Sonia Lane is detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
Okay, that, Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was tracking this through District 6 and we'll move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Councilwoman Coonrod, before I have the clerk read 9A, I had a question earlier about William Bulls. Is this the third or the fourth? You're not sure? Do we need to wait on that appointment till we determine which individual that is? Oh, here we come, here we go. Mr. Anderson,
Thank you, Mr.
have
Chairman.
you got an answer to my question?
I very quickly checked his application as you were talking, and he is William Bulls III.
The third. Do we, and we have confirmed that he does live in the district, or
Yes, sir.
at least in the city, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, Madam Clerk, let's, 9A, please.
A resolution to confirm the appointment of William Bulls III to the Old Sports Authority Board for District 9 with a term beginning on January 8, 2025 and ending on January 7, 2031.
Council? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. And I don't guess Mr. Bull is with us this afternoon. Okay. All right, now moving to 9B.
A resolution renaming the Family Justice Center to the Dr. Carol B. Burrs Family Justice Center.
Councilman Smith, followed by Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is really an honor to be able to bring this resolution forward for consideration in front of this body, and I thank everybody for letting me do this on short order. I truly cannot think of any better way to honor Councilwoman Burrs than to put her name on the building that she literally poured her life into, and we heard about it every single week since the day, well, long before it was even built, but certainly since the day it was built. And I've never been so excited about bringing something forward to name for an individual that truly has dedicated herself to it. And with that, sir, I move approval.
All right, we have a motion on the floor renaming the Family Justice Center to the Dr. Carol B. Burrs Family Justice Center with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. All right, and we do have some family members. Would y'all stand up so that we can thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, now moving to 9, under Economic Development, 9C through I, please.
Item C, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to enter into a donation agreement with the Trust for Public Land and substantially the form attached to accept the donation to tax map number 128PP001 on Grove Street in District 5, tax map number 128PP002 on Moon Street in District 5, tax map number 128IF001 on Ridgecrest Drive in District 9, tax map number 128PA001 on Wheeler Avenue in District 9, and tax map number 168CB017 on West Side Drive in District 9, and to execute all documents required to complete the transaction and with the intent of the parcels to become a part of the city's growing urban ecology preserve system with the execution of the Declaration of Restrictive Covenants. Item D, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to enter into a first agreement to exercise option to renew with the Hamilton County, Tennessee Board of Education substantially the form attached for use of a portion of tax parcel number 168IC032 for the continued operation of the Cedar Hill Head Start Early Head Start Program at 4701 Divine Avenue for an additional term of 1 year through December 31, 2025 for the amount of $1. Item E, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to award up to $195,000 in home funds to Chattanooga Community Housing Development Organization, CCHDO, to construct a house at 724 North Highland Park Avenue for affordable home ownership. Item F, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to award up to $195,000 in home funds to Chattanooga Community Housing Development Organization CCHDO, to construct a house at 729 North Highland Park Avenue for affordable home ownership. Item G, a resolution authorizing the mayor, his designee, to enter into a first agreement to exercise option to renew with the Hamilton County, Tennessee Board of Education and substantially the form attached for the use of tax parcel numbers 136LM002, 136LM005, and 136LM006 for the continued operation of the Avenue Head Start Early Head Start Program at 2302 Coy Street for an additional term of 1 year through December 31, 2025 for the amount of $1. Item H, a resolution to amend resolution number 32222 to increase the grant amount for emergency rental assistance and eviction program Prevention Program, ERA EPP funds from the Tennessee Housing Development Agency, THDA, to be used for rapid rehousing and homelessness prevention activities from $929,600 to a total amount of $1,140,000. Item I, a resolution authorizing mayor his designee to enter into a first agreement to exercise option to renew with the Hamilton County, Tennessee Board of Education and substantially reform attached for use of a portion of tax parcel number 066MD014 for the continued operation of the Daisy Head Start, Early Head Start program at 9517 West Ridge Trail Road in Soddy Daisy for an additional term of 1 year through December 31, 2025 for the amount of $1.
Pleasure of the council. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9C through I with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. That motion does carry. 9J, please.
A resolution authorizing the city finance officer to process an arbitrage rebate installment payment to the U.S. Treasury Internal Revenue Service for the fifth-year rebate computation period of November 25, 2019 through October 24, 2024, in accordance with a review and calculations by Arbitrage Compliance Specialist, Inc., relating to the general obligation bonds, Series 2019A, and refunding bonds, Series 2019B, to be paid on or before December 19, 2024, in the amount of $524,095.49.
Councilman Ledford?
Motion to approve, sir.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve 9J with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Madam Clerk, under the mayor's office, 9K through S, please.
Item K, a resolution authorizing mayor and his designee in connection with the city of Chattanooga being selected to participate in the Bloomberg American Sustainable City Basque Initiative to accept a sub-award from the Basque Initiative and to enter into a sub-award agreement in substantial form attached with Johns Hopkins University to be used for eligible expenses to support the work of Chattanooga's Basque Innovation Team, I-Team, for an amount not to exceed $120,000 with no City of Chattanooga match. Item L, a resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of John Cavett to the Historic Zoning Commission for a term beginning on January 8, 2025 and ending on January 7, 2030. Item M, a resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Brooke Satterfield to the Hamilton County Board of Equalization for a term beginning on January 8, 2025 and ending on January 7, 2027. Item N, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Paul Norman Judd to the Board of Plumbing Examiners for a term beginning on October 19, 2024 and ending on October 18, 2026. Item O, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Paul Norman Judd to the Board of Gas Examiners for a term beginning on October 19, 2024 and ending on October 18, 2026. Item P, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Michael Webb to the Board of Plumbing Examiners for a term beginning on October 19, 2024 and ending on October 18, 2026. Item Q, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Lauren Dunn to the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals for a term beginning on January 8, 2025 and ending on January 7, 2029. Item R, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Marion Quarles to the Board of Plumbing Examiners for a term beginning on October 19, 2024 and ending on October 18, 2026. Item S, a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Marion Quarles to the Board of Gas Examiners for a term beginning on October 19, 2024 and ending on October 18, 2026.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve items 9K through S with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Ms. Satterfield, would you stand and be recognized? We appreciate your service to the city. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Satterfield?
Commitment to the Board of Equalization.
Yeah, well, at least she can't say she doesn't know what she's getting into. Do we have any other board appointments with us here this afternoon? We probably, I
All are
promise.
important.
Yeah. We won't ridicule you. Okay, now moving to Public Works and Wastewater. Madam Clerk, 9T, U, and V, please.
Item T, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number R22014201, Summit of Softball Concession Stands Ventilation to J. Brennan Construction, Inc., Rocky Face, Georgia, in the amount of $377,285.93 with a contingency in the amount of $18,864.30 for a total amount of $396,150.23. Item U, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number D24004201, Economic Development Office Improvements to Bolt Builders LLC of Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, in the amount of $61,081 with a contingency in the amount of $6,100 for a total amount of $67,181. Item V, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the wastewater department to extend and increase blanket contract number W20010201 paving and concrete repair or replacement with TNT Concrete LLC of Calhoun, Tennessee for an additional 3 months and increase the contract amount of $2.5 million to $3.1 million, representing a total increase of $600,000.
Councilman Hester.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion does carry. 9W, please.
A resolution authorizing the Office of Community Health to enter into a subrecipient agreement with One First Baptist Cares for an amount not to exceed $10,000 to the Bethlehem Center for an amount not to exceed $5,000 and the Net Resource Foundation for an amount not to exceed $5,000 through the Youth and Community Violence Prevention Action Team's YPAT grant from the National Association of City and County Health Organizations to leverage multi-sector partnerships to enhance existing violence prevention efforts in selected communities for a total amount of $20,000.
Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We were asked during our agenda session to move to withdraw this item as we did not receive the grant, so I move to withdraw.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to withdraw 9W with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. All right, motion carries. Madam Clerk, with no objections, let's go ahead and take 9X and Y together as a group.
Item X, a resolution authorizing the Office of Community Health to enter into a subrecipient agreement with One UTC for an amount not to exceed $245,429, to Urban Collective for an amount not to exceed $30,000, PPCH for an amount not to exceed $30,000, CAD for an amount not to exceed $30,000, and P for an amount not to exceed $21,000 through the BJA FY24 Office of Justice Programs Grant to bring stakeholders together to strengthen community safety, address youth, young adult gang violence, and deter shootings through comprehensive response programming with our violence interruption program in high crime, risk areas in Chattanooga for a total amount of $356,429.
What's the pleasure of council?
I might have one more.
I'm sorry.
Item Y, a resolution authorizing city to apply for and if awarded accept an Environmental Protection Agency EPA reducing diesel emissions for Healthier Tennessee RDE 4HT grant administered by the East Tennessee Clean Fuels Coalition ETCFC on behalf of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation TDEC and is allocated under the Diesel Emissions Reduction Act DERA for an amount not to exceed $255,000 with a cost share not to exceed $1,320,000.
Now, what's the pleasure of the council?
Move to approve, David.
We have a motion on the floor to approve 9X and Y with a proper second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. No.
Yeah. I mean, the vote-
Councilwoman Coonrod.
The vote is cool, but my question is like, around what exactly are they gonna be doing besides just bringing them together for another meeting? Is anybody here from the community here?
Councilwoman Coonrod, I have some notes on my phone, but essentially, what these organizations are going to be doing is working with the violence interruption team to help implement and carry out the different aspects and components of the grant. Again, we were successful at being recipients of this grant, although we were not successful recipients of the grant that we asked you to withdraw. And then the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga will be helping to track a lot of the data input that comes from the input that they capture through the process of this grant administration.
Okay, but is that not what Norman, part of what his program was supposed to do, capture the data?
Well, Norman's job is much bigger than that. And so Norman and the Trajectory Changing Solutions, they are doing more sort of overall strategy with the violence interrupters. This subrecipient agreement resolution will allow us to work with these organizations specifically for the implementation of this grant, which is separate and above from what Trajectory Changing Solutions is doing.
Okay. Urban Collective, what were what services do they offer? Because I mean, you saying they're gonna be working with gang members and about all this stuff. A lot of people done came on board under the umbrella, they supposed to be working with gang members, but not really working with that group. So what exactly do the Urban Collective do? I know what CAD does, and they've been kind of doing yoga for free a lot, and Pete, what Pete do?
Well, why don't I do this? Let me, if I can, I have all of the
Yeah,
notes.
just, we can sideline,
Yeah.
you can get it to, but I'm just wondering who these people all of a sudden are they surfacing, some of them, and what work have they actually done around, working with gang members and different stuff like that, and is it really gonna be targeted to those group of people, or are we just using it for the sake of the grant? I mean, I get it. I'm supportive of it, but I just, if we're gonna do the work, I think it's time for us to actually do the work and work with the target group of people that the grant is actually written for, and not just straight A students that's not involved in any of this, disruptive behavior. We gotta start going to the areas to really target that area that is happening in, because it's a lot of communities that's considered high crime areas, high risk areas, but we've only been working in one section of a community that we deemed as like the red hot area and not really targeting all the other areas. But again, like, I do support if it's already passed, but we can.
I'll circle back
have
with
that
you
conversation.
to highlight and to make sure that we know which specific high crime and high risk areas we are targeting as part of this grant. Because I know, to your point, we have worked in certain areas perhaps more than others, and so this is an opportunity for us to look at that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Moving now into purchases, Ms. Talley.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
We have 4 purchases recommended for approval this evening. The first one is Fleet is requesting an increase of $25,952 for additional equipment for the above-ground fueling station at the Wood Recycling Center. The new contract amount will be $312,073. This purchase utilized the Sourcewell contract. Number 2, Fleet is requesting an increase of $100,000 due to unexpected vehicle maintenance. The new estimated annual spend will be $200,000. Number 3, Technology Services is requesting an increase of $1 million to replace traffic signal equipment. The new estimated annual spend will be $2 million. And I have 1 renewal for wastewater. This is the final renewal for sewer video sonar inspection services. The annual estimated cost is $750,000.
Move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor to approve this evening's purchases with a proper second. Questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving now to committee reports. Councilwoman Coonrod. You got a report?
Around Alex and
and, I forgot what was the other
New
one
Vonics.
called. And the new Vonics.
Councilwoman Knowles?
No report, Mr. Chair.
Councilwoman Dotley? No report. Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next week, we will have a Finance Committee meeting for you.
Thank you. Councilman Ledford?
Planning and zoning met today, sir.
Councilman Hester?
Parks and Public Works met today. Thanks.
And did a great job, thank you. Madam Vice Chair?
We will be having an Affordable Housing Committee meeting next week to get an introduction presentation to Invest Chattanooga. And also, I believe on the agenda for next week is a presentation from the police department related to traffic on Highway 27. 24, excuse me.
Interstate 24.
Interstate 20.
Thank you.
One number off. Just one number.
Well, what's the big deal? Okay, we now come to the time in our agenda that we recognize persons wishing to address the council. Do we have anybody that would like to address the council this afternoon? I'd ask you to come to the podium and allow the attorney to read the rules for addressing the council.
Yes, sir. At the end of each council business meeting, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front for that purpose. You can't have more than 3 minutes to speak, and you can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority and not on matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Do not engage in vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others, and address your comments to the council as a whole and not towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law. Someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, please go ahead, sir. You need to state your name too, please.
Mr. Chair, members of the council, thank you for allowing me this time. I'm J.R. Hudson, resident of Hickson. On Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, workers showed up unannounced and began clearing land on property at my residence on Ridgeview Circle. I was informed that the city of Chattanooga has approved construction of a cul-de-sac at the end of Ridgeview Circle. This work has been started without any prior notification to myself or other residents of Ridgeview Circle. My family have been residents of Ridgeview Circle since the 1960s, and Ridgeview Circle is still my residence today. Ridgeview Circle has never been a circle. It has always been a straight dead-end street since it was originally constructed in the 1960s. It's never been a circle. It's never been a circular cul-de-sac. It has always been a straight dead-end street, and it remains that way today. The information I have been shown regarding construction of this new cul-de-sac exhibits it will encroach on property at my residence, including land and the driveway of my residence. I have documentation exhibiting that the title was closed and the right-of-way was abandoned in 1970. I'm presenting this issue to you now and requesting your assistance to prevent any further damage to the property at my residence. I thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration regarding this issue.
Hold on 1 second. Councilman Smith?
Mr. Hudson, let me get to you right after this and get the documentation you have. I know what street you're talking about. I'm not aware offhand, and I pulled it up as well. I'm not aware of a development going in now. If something was done and they're just now clearing possibly, but let me get with you and make sure I know exactly where you're talking about, and we'll get it answered for you.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bell?
That would be me.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Money Bell, the homeless journalist. I'm a little hoarse here. See if I can push it out. Oh. Money Bell, the homeless journalist. I can't get it out. Ouster. Immediate removal of office, ouster. I got a disturbing call when you all went on recess. I was there at the circuit court's clerk office on Thursday, talking to former Councilman Anthony Byrd about a complaint, 17-page complaint with exhibits from A to Z. A call I got when you all took a recess is that your former councilman, who's now at the clerk's office, instead of coming here as invited by me, I saw him here on December the 18th. I was disturbed by the fact that he was aware of my presence here and formed an opinion about what he saw or what he thought he should have saw about me as a man, reflecting or not reflecting emotions. But when I stepped out, I received a call that instead of coming here as requested by Monty Bell, the man, the person that's affected by the city, the county, and the state, he chose to go to a local radio station and discuss what I discussed with him for about 2 hours. He still never received the copy of the complaint, but I think it's page 11, if I can go through here. And it talks about, if I can get it out, talks about a lot of things here, but it talks about in the Circuit Court of Hamilton County, Tennessee, an affidavit that was written by County Attorney Reuben M. Taylor and former court clerk, Christy Highsmith. This page talks about debtor's law being outlawed in 1833. You all charged me and arrested me on June the 21st under some false pretenses, and when I got to this fictitious court, it was all about, you say I owe you $1,000, and you arrested me, and you're gonna pay me $211.34 billion. I got a date at UTC. I think I got a date at the Chamber of Commerce. I wanna know how you all changed my African-American Chamber of Commerce to a multicultural Chamber of Commerce and had me arrested then. I haven't seen any violence among young people that's more violent than what you all have inflicted on me. You're gonna pay me $211 billion with a multiple of 9, or you're gonna follow your leader.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon?
Good evening, Council.
Good
Helen
evening.
Burns Sharp, Accountability for Taxpayer Money. This is exciting. The city has been approving pilots since 1985. Soon we will have written policies and procedures. It's great to see codified things like protecting our school taxes, requirement for stormwater fee, standard declining percentages by year. I have a few concerns I want to express. One is a seemingly kind of a total reliance on a matrix. Once these policies are adopted, will this one-pager be used as a standalone document? Bonus points involve discretion on community benefits, corporate citizenship, et cetera, and need further explanation. The matrix tries to make the program more predictable. Does it also make it easier to get a pilot if we base the decision solely on adding a bunch of points? Are we putting the pilot program on autopilot? Secondly, diluting the role of the council through the proposed process that would delegate most pilots to the IDB. Example, if the proposed process had been in place the past 8 years, council would have had no role in the approval of any pilots approved during this period. These examples include HomeServe, the original Novonix, Steam Logistic, and Cordza. Those would not come to the council under this new proposal. The public really needs your expertise and oversight. Please keep the council in the approval loop. The pilot pipeline has never been clogged. The council meets weekly and the IDB monthly and would hold a special meeting if needed. It doesn't take long to go from the council approval or recommendation of best interest to the IDB. Please find other ways to streamline the process if that's really an issue. And finally, a request that you hold a public hearing before adopting these policies. Pilot policies would not be on your agenda were it not for the work of Caleb, ATM, and other citizens in continuing to advocate for policies. Once you decide on a draft, please give the public the opportunity to see what you've come up with this good document. Thank you.
All right, anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon?
Janice Gooden, District 8.
Good evening.
Just want to add to what Ms. Burns Sharp has indicated. I don't want to repeat any of that, but Caleb has worked in partnership with Ms. Burns Sharp and given input to the city concerning TIF policy as well as pilot policy. With my attendance to the Industrial Development Board meetings, I think it's important that they be aware of the process. And I attended the meeting yesterday, and I was really impressed with Sharita's presentation with the educational session. And I think that works both ways for the council as well as the Industrial Development Board. And I think communication between the two is going to be very important. Thank you.
Ma'am. All right, anyone else?
My name is Patrick Sharpley. I'm working
Say
District
it
10.
again, please.
Patrick Sharpley. I work in District 10. I just recently moved. I come to talk to y'all a little bit about the pilot program that they're trying to put together. I think it's a good program. There's a lot of good stuff in it. Appreciate everybody that worked on it. Caleb, City Council, the Chamber. But what I do is I teach and I train. I train high school students, grown people, hamster or hard hats, rehabilitation, everybody, you know, that come in and get training. And when they get the training, they're ready to go to work. And we got a problem with a lot of out-of-town contractors performing this work, and they at the hall, and they seeing all the out-of-town tags performing this work. And I think right now it's a pivotal point. We got a good time to try to put some language inside that pilot program that could stick with helping these guys and ladies get to work. And I hope that y'all take that in consideration when it comes to an approval, that we can look into doing something for our city local workers that can have a chance of getting some of this money on the front end of the construction portion of it before the building goes up. And thank y'all for your time.
Thank you. All right, anyone else that'd like to address the council this evening? Council, I am not seeing anyone. What's your pleasure? So moved, we're adjourned.